Hey guys! So today, long-awaited video, I will be finally filming my art studio tour. I've been wanting to do this for ages, but my room was always a mess, and because of confinement and everything, I've had a lot of free time and I finally got myself to cleaning everything in my room. I've never seen it so organized. It's amazing, honestly. It's a great feeling to have everything clean and at its place. And yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. So it starts here with my staircase. There's actually a door down here, so it's really nice to have like a separation. Like there's my house and then there's like my floor. I've been putting a bunch of artwork on my wall and I love it. It's really like a great source of like when I don't feel like painting and I don't feel inspired, I just like come here and look at my wall, and there's just so many great things from great artists. It's also here where I have all my books, and so I'm not really a great reader, so I don't really read those books, but here's the real magic. It's all my art related books or history related books. I have this about animation, which is really nice. I have some stuff from museums. I also have like some anatomy books, stuff about perspective, and then I have like some art history books. And what you see here is a poster that is from the Pompidou Museum in Paris, and it's like a bunch of like art movements, and there's like the date and like a little doodle of what it looked like. So I actually have this thing that's up on my staircase wall because I didn't really enjoy having it all white. So it's this red tapestry. Nothing really religious related or anything. I just really enjoyed how it brought something more interesting to my staircase. And I really like the color that it brings. So that's for this thing. I also have a mirror here because it's right in front of my bedroom, which is right here, that I'll just give you a sneak peek of. And it's really nice because I just like sit down and do my makeup in front of this thing. And I got some prints around it because why the hell not? So then this is my room. Not really much to it. There's just my bed here, ukulele that's there, and directly the wardrobe. Really nothing interesting. We have some curtains that I go down for the windows because I have a street lamp just in front of my window. So at night I have a bunch of light. So then if you want to look on this side, the other side, here's still my bed. And I got a little tapestry over there too. The random basic bitch tapestry, I'm aware. And some fairy lights that's around it. What it looks like with the fairy lights. This is the entrance to my art studio. As you can see, this is the main part. This is very new because before I had this desk on the other side and it kind of like did a corner with my second desk. So as you can see, it's built in height. I got the desk itself and then just a bunch of other components and shelves. So I'll just bring you a bit closer and explain everything. So I got on my desk this little thing with like some cloth that I use for like if I use wet medium. I got also a pile of artwork that I'm working on or old stuff. Like this was supposed to be a stamp, but I kind of fucked it up, so I doubt it'll work. And it's just like a pile of work in progress, I'd say. So then over here I have my brushes, so it goes from smaller to bigger. I got over here some little things to hold on papers. On the second side I have this thing, which is actually really useful, where I put like my antique pots. Usually I put this one, but it's full and gross, so when I'm actually painting and I'm using those, I put my iPad here and I have like a screen where I can like watch YouTube videos or have music or anything. So it's really nice to actually be able to put my iPad on this thing. And then here I have this thing where I have all my pens, which are like fine liners, and some Sharpies, which are kind of all the colors. So I also have some post-it notes over here for always putting like small notes or doodles. So then if you go like this, here are my little plant boys. They're usually succulents and cactuses. I honestly forget to water them constantly, but they're somehow not dead. So that's great, I guess. Then over here I have my stock of Tic Tacs because I constantly eat mint Tic Tacs, so I have a bunch and it fills up the whole thing. I know I have issues. Moving on. On the first shelf I have this really useful and nice water jar for when I want to use like some watercolors or acrylics and I need some water. It's right over here and I don't have to like go down an entire fleet of stairs for getting up water, and it's nice. And then I have this basket which contains many things. So in this I have 2 rollers for when I do some lino printing stuff or block printing. Then I have the stuff for actually cutting inside of the lino for making the stamps. I here have a clear sheet of lino for next time I want to do some. I then have this, which is not clean, I'm sorry. It's the palette that I use, which is just made out of a frame. So in this tin box I have these sparkle gel pens, some random Stabilo fruity pens thing, and finally I have this box of Stabilo pens which are kind of like these. That's for this box and I don't really use it very often. Before I put back the box I want to show you this is a magazine that I have of the Beaux-Arts, and over here on the other side is my collection of magazines of Les Arts Dessinés, which is a beautiful, beautiful magazine. I have 6 of them and I really recommend you finding a magazine that's like this, with this just like a bunch of contemporary artists, and it's really great for finding inspiration. So over there there's even more stuff. In this tin box is everything that's like for fountain pens. So then over those 3 things it's just a bunch of like scrap pieces of paper or nice paper. So under my desk I also have a couple of things. So let's start with everything that's over there. I have some stuff for like keeping papers or traveling with them, like here also. I also have a bunch which are used and where I actually order things, which is like big pieces with like perspective work or nude modeling or etc. Then those that are actually just like laying around, like my actual artwork. It's usually because it's what I'm working on this year for my art class. Then there's this box, which is storage. So here is some watercolors in tubes. They're not the best quality, I think. Here I have my gouache tube, but once again not good quality, and it's what I was using when I was in middle school. Over here it's some acrylics in very small tubes. I really like this set, but I have no clue if it's good or not, but it's some pastel colors. Then in this one there's all my inks. So those are inks from Dr. P.H. Martin's. And then there's all my acrylic paints. So they're all from the brand Liquitex and they're the basics. And I really enjoy those paints. And then just laying on top there is this huge thing of pencil, which I didn't use much. It's just something I found in my house. And then on top of it is laying my Arteza, I don't know, 60 color gouache sets, which I adore. And I really love playing with those gouache. I used to hate using gouache because I had those really shitty ones that I showed you just before. And then just laying over here, I have a very big white of the Liquitex Basics again, because it did not fit inside. And then I have a Liquitex fabric medium thing because I printed stuff on t-shirts. And then some random block printing ink in black in case I need it. So this box contains like projects or artworks. So I have this painting that I did and I don't know what to do with it. Folders with my Inktober and a commission I did for like a science project, and they wanted some illustrations, so I did it for them and I actually got paid. So that was a really nice experience. And so those are just like projects, I guess, that I put in this box. So then over here I have my cutter thing. It's kind of like a guillotine, but it's not a guillotine. On top of it I have this huge block of paper, which is some really nice watercolor paper. Then I have my lighting up table, I don't know how you call that. And then have those little small postcards, which are watercolor thick paper. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, but this table is an architect table, and so I can actually like lift up, but I never use it that way. I prefer having it like all flat. But yeah, just so that you know. And yeah, that's all for the desk. I also have an IKEA shelf desk thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's actually really useful and I'm so happy that I have it. So first of all, I have this, which is all my alcohol-based markers. Here is like some kind of miscellaneous, so like scissors, X-Acto knives, some white pens. It's kind of a bit of everything. Here was like some colored pencils, and here are my actual pencils. Here hooked on is all of my inking pens, and it's nice and handy to just like prop it in like this. So then on the floor under, I have this little box with all my erasers, and I have those very thick Poscas. I own only 3, so I didn't know where to put it, so they're over here. Over here are a bunch of like my writing pens. So yeah, then in my Coca-Cola box, I just have this thing to sharpen my charcoal, and I have some charcoal things. And that's about all that's interesting, because I have like what, super glue and some random other stuff. And again, downstairs I have a bunch of empty boxes for in case I want to like put stuff inside. Here I actually have a bunch of like prints and artwork that I don't know what to do with yet. Probably gonna hang them up someday. So it was like a random box that I took, and it's all the stuff like prints and paintings and stickers and business cards and everything. This is really like my gem. I love this so much. So I'll then show you what's inside of this, and I truly love this. It's really useful. It's actually like a reused locker that I painted, and yeah, I use it for stocking art supplies. I have on the very top a bunch of books that came from art school. A bunch of them had some books that was showcasing what their old students did. So I have them all here because there's some really good art. And then here I have a bunch of papers and sketchbooks and notebooks, either just some random very thin paper for making sketches, or there's layout paper or watercolor paper, and there's different sizes. So over here is like art supplies. So I have my Faber-Castell Pit Artists pens, which I really enjoy using. Here's like the nib holder and the nibs. I have my watercolors over here. I have my washi tape in this like small little house, and then this is just miscellaneous. So then down here, it's just like a bunch of like random things in case I need it. And at the very bottom, I'm not gonna show you, but it is some books and stuff from school. It's really not interesting. And even lower, it's just empty pencil cases. And then over here, I have a bunch of little things done by my friends. So I have a note here that was like Happy Christmas from one of my friends. This is my friend's artwork when we were trying lino printing. This is also her art, and it's just stuff she didn't want to keep, so she just gave it to me, and it's so nice and I love having it. Some random other small notes, and I really like having this next to me. Like I can just see this and think of my friends, so it's nice. So then this is my second desk. So I have my iPad here, my iPad Pro that I really use a lot. Here are some pens for my whiteboard. Here it's just like my pencil case I use for school normally, but now it's here. Then there's this weekly planner that I use a lot, and it's very useful for having a weekly layout of everything I have to do. I then have this thing which is actually very useful. I use it for putting my phone, my iPad, my phone, my computer. And I actually have those two notebooks under my screen. So one of them is like my kind of brain dump thing. I just like plan out everything in this. And then I have my bullet journal. And then at the very back, this is kind of like my food dump, because I am the type of person that needs to eat when I'm working. So I have a bunch of like biscuits and chocolates and everything, and a water bottle, because let's be healthy despite having Coke over here. Then I have this thing. So on the very top I have everything that's the current lessons that I'm working on for school. On the second level I have some a bit older lessons but I could still need. Then over here it's just really random shit, honestly. And then on this one, this floor, it's actually really nice because it's nice papers or little doodles that I did, or stuff that I want to keep in memory, like this was a New York Metro ticket. And it's just different type of papers that I could one day glue in my sketchbook or in something like that, or in a different project. So I keep it over here, but it's dedicated to like doing art with it. On the last level, I'm realizing I finally found my calculator that I bought a new one for. Fuck, I'm a dumbass. Otherwise, this is like everything that's paper related but for schools. And then over here is my printer. Nothing much to it, it's not a fancy printer. Then we have this wonderful IKEA thing that's over here. On this thing I just have bags and tote bags. Then this is kind of like my gaming situation. So I have my PS4 and the games that I own physically, and then some physical card games. And I have my juggling balls because sometimes I enjoy trying to juggle and then remember that it's not made for me and I keep forgetting how to do it. Then over here it's just school books, school manuals and everything. Then this is actually all of my big fat art books. Then I'll be very quick because it's not that interesting over here. Here it's a bunch of like official papers, administration stuff. Very boring. Then over here it's just revision stuff for my exams that I won't be having this year, so it's a waste of money. Then here it's actually interesting. It's a place where I put a bunch of my stationery supplies. And then on the bottom here it's all the weekly planners, to-do lists and some post-it notes. Then here it's some more free notebooks that I haven't used yet. Here is my collection of old sketchbooks, all my previous ones. I like having them near me and being able to like pick them up and look back at my old art, because it's really bad and it's actually making me feel good about how my art is now. So then I have this box which is filled with makeup. And finally over here it's all my electronic stuff. So we're soon done, I promise. This is a really long video, I'm sorry. But then I have this little corner which is really ugly, and it's for papers. I also have some watercolor paper, some transfer paper, etc. And this thing is like a bunch of last year's lessons and classes in case I need it this year. And then last but not least is this little corner that you normally already know because it's my background to many videos. So it's prints that I got up and I really enjoy them. And I have a bunch of different small trinkets and stuff. And I really hope you enjoyed this art studio tour because I adore watching those videos. So I thought, why not share my little room with you guys? I truly adore how this room looks like. It had many changes and it was a lot of work, and I really love this room. It's so bright and There's just a bunch of art around me that inspires me. And yeah, that's all that I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to this channel and comment down below if you want to see anything new. And I'll answer you. That's all that I have to say. Tschüss!